Okay. All right. So first I'm going to start off with this little triangle here, okay, guys? So this triangle is super relatable, and I'll explain why. So right at the top of the triangle, we have exercise. That's the topic for today's lecture. Then over here, we have nutritional deficiencies and organ dysfunction, okay? So this triangle is related because if you shift one part of the triangle up or down, the other two corners are going to be affected. So let's say you're exercising. That's really great. It's awesome for your health. We love to exercise. But if you don't have the proper nutrition to fuel your exercise, then in turn, your organs are going to dysfunction, which means they're just not going to work properly. And then also we could even touch on the fact that your nervous system isn't going to work properly. And your nervous system is the system that controls all function of organs and areas in the body, whether we're thinking about them or not. So we definitely want that functioning. You don't want to be worrying about if your heart's going to beat during your workout or if your lungs are going to breathe the right way. That just needs to do it by itself. So if we're having dysfunction, then those things can happen, like heart palpitations or things like maybe even some exercise onset asthma, okay? So if we're giving our body what it needs nutritionally, then we're not going to be dysfunctioning, and then our exercise is going to become better and it's going to be optimum, all right? So exercise is physical exertion. So when you're exercising, you're obviously going to naturally be depleting the body of nutrients. So that's why it is so important to replace those nutrients with high quality nutrients back into the body. Or you're going to be breaking the cycle and your body's just going to be breaking down farther and farther the more you exercise. It's kind of counteractive. So not filling the nutrients is going to lead to things like lack of sleep. It's going to lead to things like anxiety, depression, brain fog. All of those things can happen when you're not getting enough good nutrients in your body. So if you have those symptoms in your life, do you think your exercise is going to be excelling? Probably not. So what happens is this decreases, and if you're here because you love to move and you love to be active, if your exercise isn't succeeding, then that's also probably going to contribute even more to the different symptoms you have going on. So it's a very vicious cycle. It's a cycle that can easily be broken. You just have to have the right tools for that. All right, so I'm going to do a quick demo of what we do at Thrive Wellness Center before we get into the meat of the lecture, okay? So I'm going to have my assistant, James, come up here. All right, so what we do at Thrive is a non-invasive form of muscle testing to figure out what areas of the body need help, what's actually the root cause of them dysfunctioning, and how we can help them specifically with a personally designed clinical nutritional program, okay? So with the muscle testing, we usually use the arm as the muscle that we're testing. So I'll have him stick his arm out here. So he's not under any stress up here, okay? So his body should be nice and strong. So when I push down on his arm, he should be able to hold it up easily. He's a healthy body, no problem. So that's what we're always checking for when we start nutrition testing. We want to make sure that there's a healthy, strong muscle to start with. Then I'm going to go through and check what organs or areas are actually lacking energy or have no energy and figure out why. So for example, because we're talking about, I guess we'll just say his stomach. So if I knew coming in he had some stomach issues, I would immediately go, to his stomach. And if it was having issues, then when I push on his arm, it would go weak, okay? That's telling me that there's some sort of dysfunction there because the nutrients have been depleted. So then what we do is figure out why the nutrients are being depleted, and that's caused by 5 main stressors usually in our world. That can be food, immune challenges, chemicals, metals, and scars, okay? So when I'm pushing on his arm, if I touch his stomach and there's nothing wrong with his stomach, his arm's going to stay strong, all right? That means there's no weakness indicated. I don't have to worry about giving his stomach what it needs. So the way we do that is we have these little nutritional supplements. They're whole food supplements, so they're made from actual foods. They're concentrated supplements. We use these to correct the underlying problems that are going on in the body. Because when you have problems going on, there's something missing that the body's not getting, so then it dysfunctions. It's not that you have a prescription deficiency or you have some sort of synthetic vitamin deficiency. Your body is deficient in something that it needs to function properly, okay? So, go put this hand out in the manner. Yep. So, if I think that this is the supplement that will help him, his body will actually tell me. So, if I put this in his hand and it's the thing that's going to help his stomach, it's going to stay strong. And then let's say I take a different supplement and I put it in his hand, and based on the reviews of nutrition response testing and the different tests and clinical findings, this could also be something that could help his stomach. But if I touch his stomach and his arm goes weak, I know that that supplement is not for him. So it's not a bunch of woo-woo, I promise you. There's actual science behind it. And
through the glass?
Yes, through the glass. Very good, Darren. So I have a little tube here that's going to kind of show you real life how that works. So all of our bodies have electricity in them. So you have electricity, everything around us has electricity, these supplements have electricity. So all we're doing is reading each other's electricity, and that's how I'm testing him and his body. So when I touch one end of this guy and then the other end, it lights up because my body, my electrical current is running through, lighting the little tube up. So when I'm testing him, and then palm like this. Okay, so when my body's touching his body to find out what's going on, I'm using my electricity to talk to his electricity. And it's easily shown like this. So just by me touching him, we can light up this together because our bodies are both electric. And that works with the supplements. Like Darren said, these are in little glass containers, and the energy can come through the glass just like you might feel the sunlight through a window. So that's how that works. Thank you, assistant. All right.
Even though he did mess up twice, but nobody's counting.
Right? Hi, go ahead. That's okay. There's a seat right in front. All right.
This is what we get from
No worries.
Just missed the best part.
Dang it.
We have to light up a sticky thing.
Right?
Yeah, seminar's over. Where you been?
Better late than never, right?
True.
All right, so the first thing I want to touch on is kind of the stigma or the mentality around, especially with CrossFit, I feel like, because it's such an intense exercise that, carbohydrates are king, and that, I did an hour killer workout, so I'm going to eat 3 bagels and 1 donut and drink this sugary sports drink. And it's okay, because I offset it with my hour workout. So first, we kind of have to get in our heads that that's not the right stigma to have. And unfortunately, it's so normalized, so I get it. Totally get it. I've been there myself. I didn't know any better. So what I'm going to talk about today is more a paleo-like diet and how that can enhance your sports performance. So what I mean by paleo is it's unrefined, so no processed foods. Mostly it's dairy-free, and also no things like wheat, grains, gluten, any of that is included within that diet. It's coined after our ancestors who ate mostly meats, vegetables, fruits, and lived nice, healthy lives. So first we'll start off with why the paleo diet is the most ergogenic diet for athletes. And by ergogenic, I mean it's intended to enhance your physical performance. All right? So we'll start right here. Okay, we're going to start off with BCAAs, or branched chain amino acids. If you're in the workout world, I'm sure you've heard of these. Everyone has their drinks with their BCAAs in them. So these are the building blocks of protein and muscle. So if you think they're kind of important for recovering after your workout, just a little bit. So having a diet high in these repairs your muscle after your workout and can keep your muscles going during your workout. So by consuming higher amounts of animal protein especially, you're going to be replenishing these BCAAs in your diet and in your muscles. So animal protein at a good source is one of the best replenishments for BCAAs. Not a little sports drink with 30 grams of sugar in it, unfortunately. I know they taste good, but I'm here to tell you.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, they're not good, okay? So don't worry, there's alternatives because I used to love my sports drinks too. But anyway, so by replenishing these, you're actually stopping the natural breakdown of the muscle, okay? So if you're stopping that breakdown, you're building it up instead, what you're gonna get is you're gonna get a quicker recovery, and then you're gonna be able to return to your next workout at a higher intensity, which is the goal, right? If we're working out, especially competitively, we want to be able to go to the next workout continuously with higher intensity and making ourselves better each time. And even if that's not the goal, if the goal is just to maintain, then we still want to maintain that good intensity that we're at, and we want to be replenishing those BCAAs. So second, you're going to be less acidic when you're eating more high quality fats and proteins and vegetables. So grains are acid producing, and they can add to the acid that the athlete is already making due to exercise. So I'm sure you guys have all experienced DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. You just feel like, oh my gosh, I can't sit on the toilet one more time because if I squat down, it's bad news, I'm not getting back up. So we've all been there, and what that is that is acid building up in our body and in our muscles. So part of that is natural, totally get that, but there is a part where we can actually be preventing that from happening by replacing those BCAAs and not feeding ourselves the grains that are making us more acidic and more likely to be sore, especially for longer periods of time. So the body will neutralize blood acidosis by breaking down muscle. So again, it's kind of a vicious cycle. So if your body is so acidic and it wants to become more basic or alkaline, then you're going to be breaking down muscle because the body's working to do that with the things that you're not giving it. All right. So the third thing that's huge within a paleo diet that is beneficial to athletes are the trace nutrients that are involved. So trace nutrients are in things like fruits and vegetables, and those contain things like high amounts of vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and antioxidants. And antioxidants and phytochemicals are just disease-fighting minerals and vitamins, okay? So these help protect us against these pathogens and disease, and they promote optimum immune function. So if your immune system's functioning right, you're less likely to get sick, you're less likely to need to take time off of working out, or if you're one of those people who is just super hard-headed and gonna come in and you're not feeling as well as you should be, then you're actually also just tearing down your body even more because your immune system's trying to fight, as well as also your body's trying to function with the stress you're putting on it from the exercise. So just kind of, again, a cycle that if your immune system's on point and you're getting these things from your diet, then you're not gonna have to worry about taking days off due to illness. And then things like grains, sugar, processed foods, all deplete these nutrients. So again, you're gonna be depleting the nutrients, causing organ dysfunction, causing a lack in your exercise, okay? So we wanna eat less of these processed foods and more whole foods, okay? All right, fourth, we'll talk about these things called glycogen stores. So glycogen is just a fancy word for sugar. And stores means a place to put the glycogen. So where the body stores unused carbohydrates, these are stored in the muscles and the liver. So you've heard of like fatty liver, that's a cause or an effect from eating too much sugar and processed food. That's where the body stores that. And the body also stores this glycogen in the muscles. So yes, they are needed for peak performance. I'm not gonna tell you you have to eat only 20 grams of carbs a day, that's ridiculous. So since you are exerting these carbs during your exercise and you're depleting these glycogen stores, you do need to eat carbohydrates. But we'll go back to, let's not use bagels and donuts and sodas for that carbohydrate replenishment. And you don't need to be consuming them all day either. That is just actually detrimental to your health. So the optimum time to consume these carbohydrates is before your workout and after your workout. All right, and we'll go into kind of time windows on that in a little bit. So, yeah, we have to end the stigma around working out and being able to eat bad. Also, that's super bad for your mental health as well. So, just touch on that. The replacement of these stores is most effective post-exercise within about a 30-minute window. So the body naturally would like to receive those back in that 30 minutes. And then muscles can build all they can, all the best of their ability, when they get those glycogen stores fulfilled without the starchy bad foods like grains, sugar, all of that. And then eating carbs all day, again, it's an overkill, and it's actually going to displace things in the body, and it's going to break down the muscle building. All right, so let's talk pre-workout. All right, so this can be hard because we don't want to eat foods that are going to, one, fill us up too much before a workout, and then we're going to feel all sluggish and have a full stomach. And we also don't want to eat things that are going to kind of use their energy too quickly, and then you're going to hit that wall during your workout and not have that. So first we'll talk about why it's good to have a good pre-workout meal or snack. So first, you want to satisfy your hunger. So, if you've ever come into a workout and the only last time you ate was like 4 hours before, and you're going to come in and you're going to hit that wall. Your body is not going to be able to function because you're putting extra stress on it, and you haven't given it the tools that it needs to actually succeed at what you're asking it to do. So I'm sure we've all hit that wall in our workout. It's not fun, it's frustrating, and it can be avoided by using the right and proper nutrition beforehand. All right, so we want to make sure we're satisfying our hunger. And then for the people who may work out in the morning, we want to make sure that we're restocking that energy that we used overnight. So whether or not you think you're exerting energy when you sleep, you are. Your body still has to function. You're losing water through your pores in your breathing at night. So when you wake up in the morning, you need to be replenishing those, ideally before you work out, if you can. We'll talk about, if you have more of a 5:30 a.m. workout, you're not going to get up at 4:30 to eat breakfast. Unless you're like crazy awesome, then you might. But most of us are getting up at like 5 or 5:15 and then coming to 5:30 a.m. workout. And so we need something a little quicker. So again, you want to restock what's been depleted. And that can go for during the day too. So if you're working from 8 to 3 and you come to work out at 4, you've been using energy all day, just moving your body, doing your job. So we need to continue to replenish those nutrients that have been depleted during the day. And then you need to eat right before exercise, about at maximum or minimum, so you wouldn't want to eat any later than like 1 hour before exercise. So from 1 hour to right before exercise, you want to be done with your meal or your snack. And we'll talk about the 10-minute window before exercise too and what you should be doing. So the closer you get to exercise, the fewer calories you want to be taking in, but good calories. And then we'll talk about that 10-minute window, because I know sometimes everyone has their little pre-workout drinks they like to drink. So the better you fuel your fluid levels as well prior to exercise, which should be every day anyway, you're also going to be able to exercise better, and you're going to work out better, you're going to recover more quickly, and things are going to go better in that aspect. So the ideal is that you want to consume about 200 to 300 calories per hour before a workout. So I'll give an example, because I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. So 1 hour before your workout, let's say you want to consume about 200 calories. If you're going to eat 2 hours before your workout, 400. 3 hours, 600. Hope that makes more sense. So that way, those calories are going to be continuous energy right up until your workout. And the reason you don't want to be eating right before a workout, that was my misconception. Like, I would shove a banana in my mouth like 10 minutes before I was supposed to go work out. And not the best, or not ideal at least, as what you should be doing. So you want to consume the healthy carbs before the workout, like we talked about, because you want to make sure those glycogen stores are nice and full, so that when you start exercising, your body has room to take out glycogen to use for energy. And then carbs are an easier thing to digest than if you had a higher fat protein meal right before a workout. That's going to take your digestive system a little bit longer to handle those things, and therefore you're going to be a little bit more sluggish. If you were in like that 3-hour window, you could obviously probably have a more higher carb, higher protein meal, because if you're eating 600 calories, I hope it's not 600 calories of carbs. So you also want to keep the meal a little bit low in fiber, because what fiber can do is sit in the gut for longer than we would want it to, and it's also going to be soaking up water and nutrition to help your body digest it. So that's not ideal either, because then your body's worried about digesting your food instead of your workout, and also it can kind of down-regulate that digestion because you're putting immediate stress on it. So what it's going to do is it's going to stop the digestion, and you're kind of going to feel that stuck feeling in your stomach that you may feel or experience during workouts. So you want to make sure you're drinking enough water beforehand as well, because that's super important. You're sweating, so obviously you're getting rid of water. You're breathing a lot heavier than normal, so again, your lungs excrete water. So we don't want you to become dehydrated. And if you're not hydrated, your body's going to break down protein during exercise. And what did we talk about earlier? Protein is the building blocks of muscle. So if you're breaking down protein, it's not feeding your muscles. It's using it to try to replenish itself because you're not drinking enough water. And then you want to take in water about 1 hour before exercise and kind of sip from there. You don't want to have that full water feeling when you're trying to do double unders and you may upchuck. So not a fun thing to feel. All right, so we'll touch back on eating right before exercise. So what eating right before exercise entails is changes in your blood sugar levels. So that could look anywhere like you eat something like a banana, that's going to really spike up your blood sugar, and then all of a sudden it's going to drop. And that drop is probably going to happen if you're eating that banana like within a half an hour to a few minutes before your workout. That drop's going to happen in your workout, and you're going to feel that low, or again, you may feel like that hitting wall feeling. So that's what can happen when you eat something that's a little too high and raises your blood sugar. If you eat something that is just, let's say you have, let me think of an example. You eat something that is a little bit more steady on the blood sugar. So let's say you have a pre-workout shake that has some good protein in it, not so much sugar. Your body is still going to be dumping out insulin when you consume that, and then your blood sugar may just stay low the whole time, and then you're never going to get that peak of energy. So that's what can happen when you're eating things beforehand. We'll talk about the 10-minute window because that's important, because some people do really like their pre-workout drinks, and some of them can be okay. You just really want to make sure you're not getting anything with any sort of artificial sweeteners or added sugar. So that looks like other ingredients, sucralose, anything ose, fructose, dextrose, maltodextrin. All of that is added refined sugar that is not good for the body. First of all, you're going to be depleting the body of nutrients when you're drinking those things. And then again, we're back to the cycle of your body's not going to function right if those nutrients are depleted. Your workout's not going to go ideal. So that's why you want to avoid those oses and the other ingredients. Things that are better options, or if you find a pre-workout maybe with like some monk fruit or stevia, something like that, erythritol, depends on the body, but most people can handle those things and tolerate them. Those actually don't change your blood sugar levels, so you're not going to be so affected by those types of ingredients or added sugars. So what we're doing when you're drinking something about 10 minutes before workout is you're actually not giving the body enough time to react. So when you're drinking that 10 minutes or eating something 10 minutes, you could say even you're going to actually down-regulate the reaction of the insulin drop. So your body isn't going, because your body's focused on the intensity of the workout, you're just putting it through right then, and so it's not going to worry about dumping the insulin into your system. So if you want to do your pre-workout, it's not meant to be a meal or anything, but that would be the optimum time within 10 minutes before. All right, so some examples of some good pre-workout meals. So I'm not talking the 10 minutes before, I'm talking the hour or the 2 hours, 3 hours before, are going to be things that are high in protein further before. So let's say you're 2 hours before your workout. Maybe some eggs, hard-boiled, pan-fried, not in crappy frying stuff like butter or coconut oil would be ideal. And then also you want to make sure you get some carbs in with that, like we said. So if you want to have some fresh fruit or some added vegetables, vegetables are technically carbohydrates, so that's okay to do too. And that's again going to be replenishing those trace nutrients that your body is needing to recover the right way. You could do like a homemade trail mix. Like that would be a good hour before would be a good homemade trail mix. So you could have good sources of nuts. Unfortunately, peanuts are high sensitivity for everyone because the way that they're processed, they actually sometimes can contain mold. So I would stay away from more peanuts and go maybe towards some cashews or almonds, things like that, pecans, those are all really great. And then you could add in some things like if you like little pieces of high quality dark chocolate. You can add chocolate. Chocolate's okay in quantities. Chocolate, yeah, it's good stuff. And then you could even do like some dried fruit if you wanted, something like that. Some coconut flakes to have some good fat in there too. That's all good homemade like trail mix. And you can have that as a snack if you make a big bulk batch throughout the week. All right, and then let's say you're more like a few hours before your workout, just thinking ideally like a lunch or a dinner. You could get something more like a hamburger, because again, we're gonna go back to the good BCAAs. So a hamburger, no bun. Sorry. Or if you're doing a bun, they have things like cloud bread, it's called. It's more of a paleo-friendly bun. Because again, the buns are obviously going to contain the horrible gluten and wheat that's made in America. So no bun, ideally. If you're going to do cheese, you would ideally want raw milk cheese. So raw milk cheese is unpasteurized milk. Pasteurization actually kills all the good bugs in milk and cheese, which we actually want to eat because we all need good bugs for our gut to function the right way. So that would be good. You can have like maybe some sweet potato on the side with that for your carb. Sweet potatoes are a really good source of carbohydrates and minerals and vitamins, especially if you're going to burn them off later in the day. That's awesome. You could do fruit instead if you wanted. Things like we'd go for like berries, or pineapple's really great because it has digestive enzymes in it. So pineapple aids in digestion. Papaya, peaches, all those things are really great fruit. Pears, and then apples too. Apples are good, especially if you get them, if we're in apple season here, and you get apples from a local source, that's ideal. So that's really great. And then if you want to do something like chicken too, and you can do chicken thighs. So chicken thighs have more fat on them, making them more nutritious and filling. So you don't have to eat a plain old chicken breast that's boring and harder to digest for your body with that mass amount of protein and no fat with it. And then you want to have some potatoes or a vegetable with that too. And if you tolerate them, things like, you could do things like lentils or quinoa. Those are okay carbs too. It just depends on each individual because some of us may not know it, but we can have adverse reactions to these. So things like that look like bloating. If you get phlegmy after you eat something, that means something you ate did not agree with you. And if you're feeling things like brain fog or you get tired after you eat, again, not something that's correct. We're eating to fuel our bodies, so we're not eating to sit there and be tired. So the idea is to have energy after you eat. All right. So those are some good pre-workout ideas. Anything along those lines is great. And with your beef, and any animal product you're getting, ideally you want grass-fed or pasteurized eggs, because those are going to be the best high-quality products. You don't want to be eating something that's pumped full of antibiotics and that's grain-fed, because what you eat and then what your food that you eat eats matters. So if you're eating a cow that ate grains, then the grains made the cow and you're eating the cow. So in turn, you're also eating grains. So grass-fed beef is the best. And then you can definitely get the 80-20%. That's totally okay. All that good fat in there, you're gonna really get good DHA, which is a good fatty omega, which our body needs to function. Because our cells need fat to function. If they're not getting enough fat, then they're not going to actually absorb nutrients in the right way. And again, you're going to be nutrient deficient, and then there's going to be things that happen like organ dysfunction. All right, so now we talked pre-exercise. Let's talk post-exercise. So obviously recovery is so important for you guys as athletes, because if you don't recover, you can't get to the next workout again fast enough, or ideally like you'd want to. If you're working out on a Monday and you plan to work out again on Tuesday, but you feel so crappy because your body is just stiff and acidic from Monday's workout, you're probably mentally not going to be like ready to work out the next day, and your body's probably telling you, no, please do not work out, I need to rest. So these things can be stopped or at least slowed down by giving our body what it needs to actually function the right way and build the muscles and recover faster. So ideal window after a workout is 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes, you should be eating a meal or a snack or a shake. So that's what we're doing again. At the beginning of our workout, we were making sure those glycogen stores were full and happy. At the end of our workout, they're going to be depleted, so we're going to need to put those glycogen stores back. So what that looks like is eating some type of healthy, high-quality carb, and also getting protein in, because again, you want to replace those BCAAs that you depleted during your workout, and you want your muscles to recover from that workout faster, and BCAAs are the building blocks of muscles and protein, so they're needed to replace that. All right, and you also want to rehydrate. So you're sweating, like I said, you're breathing, you're depleting the body of water, and you're also depleting the body of what we call electrolytes. So electrolytes are sodium, potassium, chloride, and magnesium. They're naturally occurring minerals that the body needs to actually use the muscles and function. So these are critical for muscle contraction and relaxation. So you're doing a ton of that when you're working out. You're contracting your muscles a ton. When you're having those rests, you're relaxing your muscles a ton. If they're not doing that efficiently, then obviously your workout is going to suffer from that. So to get that high performance workout, you need to make sure that your muscles get enough electrolytes post-workout too. So things like that look like you can literally put salt in your water, preferably Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. You can make your own electrolyte water, you could call it. All you have to do is get a mason jar and take 1 cup, it's called Soleil water, and take 1 cup of the high quality salt, so Celtic sea salt or pink Himalayan, put it in the mason jar, and then the rest of the jar fill with water, and then you just let it sit on your counter. You don't need to put it in the fridge or anything, and just make sure you put a plastic lid on it and not a metal lid, because the metal can affect the water, and it'll break down the metal lid and you'll be drinking metal. Not ideal. So what you want to do is you want a plastic lid, and then you can do like up to a teaspoon to as many teaspoons as you want in your water. You'll be okay. I promise. Salt's not the enemy. Morton salt is though. Don't eat Morton salt. So high quality salt, and then you can also buy like electrolyte powders. Just make sure there's no bull crap in them with like, you know, added stuff, like if you get a flavored one, or please don't buy those like squirty little Mio things. Those are horrible because they're all chemically made. They might say sugar free, but it's all chemicals. No Gatorade, no Powerade, horrible, 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 sugar. Your body is going to not thank you for that. So they claim to have tons of electrolytes and this and that, and then they probably do, but they're also probably synthetically made. They're probably not actually real, coming from the earth or anything. They're probably made in a lab. And then basically those get zapped anyway by all the sugar that's in them. So please stay away from those. And then you just want to make sure you're getting that water in. You can drink electrolytes all day if you want. That's ideal. It's really helpful for the body. If your body's not getting enough electrolytes, again, your body can't receive the nutrients it needs to on a cellular level. All right. So some okay ideas for post-workouts are things like a high-quality protein shake. So those are simple, easy to make up. You're just get done with your workout. You're in the gym still. Maybe you're stretching. You're doing things, talking to people. That happens, community around here. So what you need to be doing is bringing something with you that you can eat afterwards. So you can bring a protein shake that's high quality. Again, look out for the additives. Look at how much sugar is in it. And if there is sugar, you need to see what kind of source it's coming from. All right? So if there's sugar and it comes from maybe some type of dried fruit they put in the shake, okay, give or take, that can be okay. But if it says sugar and then you look at other ingredients and it's like literally just sugar, I would not recommend eating that. It's white refined sugar. You're just doing more harm than you are good. You could make a smoothie, so you could put the protein in the smoothie. So you could do like some frozen berries, some spinach, coconut oil, avocado. All that is really great in a smoothie. And you're replenishing those good fats that you've also worked so hard on burning. And then you're replenishing the protein and the carbs. And kind of just to touch on the paleo diet, if you guys, start doing it and you're at a higher carbohydrate intake for your diet, you're gonna feel really horrible at first. I won't lie to you, because your body is switching over systems. So when your body is used to burning 70% carbohydrate diet, and you're more like in the 40s now maybe, then your body is also going through a change. So not just you physically, or not just you like mentally, because it is a mental change, but your body physically is going through a change. So it's going to take time for your body to adjust. So don't leave here, go try it, work out, and be like, the Emily girl does not know what she's talking about. Because you feel really bad. Because you probably will, I won't lie to you. But once that system learns how to switch over and your body becomes more efficient at burning lower carbohydrates, higher fat diet, then your body is going to learn how to metabolize fat and not store fat. So I know some of you, that is the goal with working out too. You're here because you want to feel good, because exercise makes us feel good, and you could be here because you also want to look good. That's okay. That's part of our society. So when you're doing that though, this paleo diet is going to be more likely to actually metabolize the fat instead of letting it sit in our bodies. All right, just a side note. All right, and then, so yeah, like I said, this is going to take time to change, and you want to really make sure you're fueling your body with real food. Real food is things that come out of the ground. God food, not man food. Man food is just toxic to our bodies. And there's so many alternatives for things nowadays that if you come to me and you're like, man, I really love this, then I can totally give you answers for those things in different ways that you can replace them with things that are good and they're actually just so much better for you. Like I know we love our breads and pastas and everything, and I know we don't like our veggies sometimes, but I'm here to tell you that I was a carbitarian, like lived on a carbohydrate diet. Actually,
That's funny.
I actually at one point for like 7 months didn't eat meat, and that's when I was here working out, not eating any protein. It was a good time, Sean. I was like doing burpees one day, and he's like looking at me like, "Oh, is she okay?" Because it was a really big struggle, and I had to totally cut the workout because my body was like, "What are you doing, lady? You're giving me nothing, and then you're exerting all this energy." So you need to be eating good, real foods to actually fuel your workout. And in the long term, your body's going to thank you for this, because what you're doing is you're just setting yourself up for success, and your body's going to be happier, and you're going to be happier, because we're not happy if we're symptomatic. We're not happy when